I don't make the students trees. I make the people that can make these trees. Hello everybody! Today we're gonna film the preparation of one of our club meetings. And what is a club meeting? This is actually 5 times, sometimes 6 times a year, a Kei Bonsai Kai reunion. That means that all our students are coming together that day, that weekend, and we discuss about everything. So this time the main discussion will be about displaying bonsai, displaying in the widest range that you can have. So we are talking for beginners about displaying, and a beginner, as usual, he has no table. So that's the start. And so we talk about displaying with the minimalized material that you have, bringing your tree at his best. And then we talk about displaying at a higher level, and then we talk about the art of displaying. That's another level. So all these things are gonna happen. Before we can start a meeting like this, we have to prepare everything. We have to make several displays. We have to set everything up like it should be. Also in our club we have different kind of artists. Like Henk Somers is one of the artists that collecting scrolls. And he's not only a collector, he's also an artist by himself. So this man had a good eye for what's on the scroll. Then we have also in our club our table maker, Russel, also prepared top quality tables. And also this is something to talk about, to discuss, because the right table under the right tree is important. All this cannot happen without a perfect pot. So all these things we talk about, but we also gonna talk about for our beginners how we make our trees, how we make our trees natural, how we going over that point of they are ready for displaying. So also this we talk about it. So this is actually what we all preparing now today, all the setups that we do. There is in the other hall also a big part of our club members that bringing also a couple of trees for displaying. So this is actually what we try to do, and this is the subject of our next club reunion. So the club reunion, Kei Bonsai Kai members, there are for the moment about 85 active members. I think tomorrow we will have probably about 50 or 60 that come to the reunion and participate. It is all for free. It is a free service that we do. Like I said before, they don't have to pay a fee to become a member. They just have to prove here that they can make their own tree. And like I said in previous films already, I don't make the students trees. I make the people that can make these trees. So this is what we do here, and they have to make their own material and they have to do their own thing. I just show them the technique, the timing. I show them also the beauty and the hidden things that they don't see directly. This is all what I give them, and they have to do their thing with it. And this is now, after every 3 months, the things where we discuss it. So this is also our point of viewing to their trees. There is a discussion with their trees. We discuss about what we did and what we're going to do, what's the future plan of a tree is, and where it come from. So all this is going to happen tomorrow, a whole day. And this is the first time that we do it a whole day. Normally it's just a half a day, but it's the first time, and that's why we need so much preparation. But I think it will worth to be here, and it will worth to hear all this, because it is so much from the start of raw material till the end, and a Tokonoma display with all the alternative ways in between. So now I'm going to introduce you to one of our oldest members in age and in time that he's here. Johan is here now for, I think, 30 years or a little bit longer. 30 years that he took part of our workshops and started with his collection. This is just a small part of his collection. There are more trees, but those are also interesting pieces because it all started from scratch. So he will explain you a part of his experiences over the 30 years.
I am Johan. I am maybe one of the oldest members of the group here, the KBK. I am now 74, so it's a good age to know how it evolved. Here you have some examples of how a tree can evolve. You can start with, Danny has many simple plants, simple, and I'm sure from the beginning, I'm sure he sees already the bonsai in that, and we don't see it. So with his explications and his manner of doing it, you can go from a simple plant to something very special and very beautiful. This kind is a Calicarpa. The Calicarpa is a really difficult plant because when you wire it and you try to put it, it can break like glass. So you must be very careful, but with his hands we managed to learn it. So this one is a Piracanta, the same manner. We started with a simple trunk with nothing on, simply a lot of little parts, and then his vision was let it grow, turn it around, pick it back, let it grow again. And so, in the years, you can become a kind of visual bonsai. So this one is another kind. This is an example how you can use the other side. And on a certain moment, first the other side was the good side, but little by little that is getting away. So we saw that the other side was more beautiful and more character. This is a kind of it's a forsythia, and this one also started with a simple trunk, with a few branches, and the same manner. You let it grow, you wire it, you put it, you let it grow again. So the first thing you need for bonsai is patience. Patience, not months, but years. You can do it by years.
So we are not bonsai retired?
No, not yet. When I see some Japanese old bonsais, I am very glad. They are old, but they are still working at bonsai. So nice.
So we're also going to talk about displaying in a Tokonoma. I will introduce you to the guy that made the Tokonoma for me, Patrick. And I know Patrick for a long time. Patrick was a formal customer of mine when I imported my Japanese trees and my stones from Japan and everything. He started with Japanese gardens together with Martin and Rob. And they had a small company, and that's how they became client here, and then that's how I knew them. So I also prefer to work with people that I know for a longer time, and that's why we talk about the things and the possibility to make a Tokonoma. Also, I have just one wish. My formal display could stay, except on the outside. And it has to look more or less like they have it in Omiya Museum and like Kobayashi, but we turn it upside down. And it's more or less, it's not a copy, but it's the same classic way of Japanese Tokonoma. So this is also for our more advanced members, that we do this display. Even if they are not ready, even if they are not interested in, even if they don't want to do this, it's better that they learn it. It's better that they knew about it and that they can count on it, okay, but this is how it works. It's all about lines in a Tokonoma. Following lines is very important. And this is where we're going to talk about the whole setup in a Tokonoma, the space that we divide, the subjects that we put in. So also we make some strange displays, discussable displays, because this is where it's all about. You can discuss about every display, but if it has a meaning, if you tell a story, if you touch people, then it's more or less already a good one. And then you can fine-tune it. You can make it perfect. And you can go and focus on 100%, it has to be like the Japanese thing, or you can also say, we are European, but we use these Japanese guidelines. So this is all where we're going to talk about.
How do you create a Tokonoma like this?
We started with finding some really good inspiration from Japan. With that inspiration, we went to Danny and showed him some pictures. And we decided which kind of style Tokonoma we wanted to build. Next thing was finding the right materials and also right dimensions. And from then on we started building the Tokonoma.
Do you build just Tokonomas for inside, or do you build also for outside?
It's also possible to build Tokonoma for outside, but we need to use different wood then. Because this wood is very good for inside, but for outside it wouldn't last as long as we would like to. So then we normally use cedar, western red cedar, or even hardwoods is possible. But we also build structures for outside, not only Tokonoma, but also other Japanese woodworks. So.
Hi, my name is Jeroen. It's a typical Belgian name, so it's hard in English. But yeah, I'm standing here next to my tree. It's a Prunus Mahaleb. It's one of my most recent purchases, so I haven't had this for very long. I think about a year or something now. But I'm happy to be part of this. I think I started here about 8 years ago. It's a bit weird because I started because I don't have a garden. So I only have a small balcony, and I wanted a few trees or something, a few shrubs that does last more than a year. And I came in contact with a local bonsai club, and I think I went there a few Saturdays, and the guy who was running it, he said you have much more potential, or you want to progress much further, so he sent me here to Danny. And yeah, ever since I came here, I was amazed by all the trees that were being made here, because by the members, by Danny, by everyone. So I came here and I never left. and it's been now, yeah, I think 8 years. At first I started doing workshops like everyone else, but then I got into we call it the study group. We come together every Saturday. We make some creations, we make trees, we clean stuff, we do a lot of things. And yeah, I think since about 6 months now, I've been coming here 1 or 2 days a week as well. So yeah, I think I spend most of my days with bonsai trees now. And it's been a life-changing situation, and I hope it will last for many more years.
What is bonsai for you?
For me, bonsai, it started as a hobby, but I think now it's more a way of living, because everything I do is in honor of the trees. I mean, I wake up and I think about trees, I go to sleep and I still think about trees. I don't like to go on holiday, so my girlfriend doesn't like that very much. But for me, it's completely a way of life. As I said, I don't have a big garden, but I have my balcony. I have a small room at home with a little Tokonoma, so I can display a little. But I think that's the main reason I come here as well, because yeah, this facility has everything you could wish for. I mean, it's amazing.
We have also in our club one of the best, I say one of the best, because I dare not say the best table maker in Europe. David Russel is somebody that come to my workshops already, I don't know, 10, 15 years. And now he started the last 2 years as a full-time professional table maker. So it was also his work. He was teaching that, not bonsai tables, but teaching wood crafting. And because he made some tables and we saw the quality in it, and he now even go to that high standard that he is really good in it. He making deep, perfect table if you want. So I'm gonna introduce you to him, and he's gonna talk about his table work. He's gonna tell you some of his secrets.
Hello, I'm David Russel from DR Bonsai Tables, and I'm a bonsai table professional, and we're gonna talk a bit about my work.
What's your profession before you make bonsai tables?
Oh yes, I'm always been a carpenter, especially for furniture. So I was always professionally engaged making furniture, design furniture, and I give 23 years I gave lessons. I was teacher in woodworking, and since last year I'm decided to be fully professional, to be fully engaged with only making bonsai tables, design them, drawing them, create them.
Yeah. How many tables do you produced in a year?
For now, I don't really have a concrete idea how many tables I made. Last year, maybe 50, I don't know. But the problem is, if you want to do it on the traditional Japanese way, every part is connected with special connections. So you take your time. There are no shortcuts, there are no tricks with machines or stuff. I don't use CNC machines, I don't use them. So all made by hand. So to be honest, you have to take your time. If you don't take your time, you will have a poor result.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the main difference between making a table for a broadleaf tree or a conifer?
This is more typical conifer trees. Leaf trees are more using that kind of tables. Especially, you will see this a lot with Acer, Palmatum or other Acer sorts. This is then more for conifers. So you can say, in fact, tables for conifers are more stronger. They refer more strongness because in most of times the conifer trees are bigger ones. But for very big trees, the sides must be closed with a panel. That refers against on strength from the table and the heaviness of the tree.
Okay. So here's my favorite one from you. I saw this year on the trophy. Then he had I think it was a juniper cascade on.
Yes, yes.
How was the idea behind it?
The idea behind this was because the tree has a special shape. It means that the leaves of the tree came under the pot. So if you have a table with straight legs, the leaves from the tree hit always that legs. So we need something with space, open space here. So this was an idea of mine. So I was hoping Danny will like it. But everything would come down here. And then later I made this one, which also refers to the falling branch. It make it possible for the tree to hang here and not touch the table, because in fact the tree, if you have a cascade tree, it's you don't want it to touch the table. It's not correct.
If you see it alone, it's very dominant.
Yes, yes.
But if you see the combination this year, it was, for me, it was
Yes.
perfect.
This way you always have to make the choice. Look at the tree. Is he strong enough to hold this, or is he too weak to hold this? So in fact, I would never propose that with a tree who can't stand against the table like a concurrential thing. It's always nice if everything is one piece together. Therefore, unfortunately, I have seen a lot of combinations who, in my opinion, are a bit how can I say, we're not actually in harmony together. So I always try to design something for the clients who is in harmony in one piece. So not a table tree, but try to having one thing together who is one piece of art. You can say this.
This is a ceramic sculpture of my wife. It's called the Muse. The Muse, it's symbolizing that the ideas come from the head and go to the hands, because you need your hands to put your ideas in reality. So that's it. That's the movement of the sculpture. Muse, ideas to the hands, and they can execute. It's really like bonsai. You have a plant, you start with, but you need inspiration to make it true, to make it good, healthy, and to make it like a real bonsai tree. That's the same. It's a ceramics. It's baked at 1230 degrees. So. That's the kind of art. It's an inspiration for the trees also.
Hello, my name is Kurt. I'm a Kei Bonsai Kai member since 2009, when I started with this juniper squamata. Already in my early teenagers, I was practicing bonsai, but on a very amateuristic level. And when coming for the first time to Kei Bonsai Kai, I already saw the way they were working here with a bush, starting with a bush of 75 euros, Juniper squamata. I started to form the plant for the first time. I didn't go out with an instant bonsai, but with a long-term vision to build the results in after, I think 17 years. I've come up with this result, and year after year the techniques changed. So what is really important is that you do on a regular basis the necessary tasks like cleaning, a lot of needle cleaning for needle junipers. That is really important. And yeah, the stages, the cutting, the trimming, pinching. So yeah, to come up with a result like this, I really have to give credit to Danny to help me in the process, and yeah, putting the form like this.
So, this is not a club exhibition. This is a club meeting. And in a club meeting, we discuss the trees from the people, from the students. So that also means that they don't come up with their best level, they come up with the trees that can be discussed during the meeting. So also projects that are not so long in training, like this Sargenti juniper, was a normal garden plant 3 years ago. I started this up with a student 2 years ago. We put it 2 times every year in a row in a wire, and we removed now for the first time the wire and see the result. So this is just a very young project, 3 year in training, and we see for the first time the tree without wiring, and it starts to keep already his position. So this is a tree in progress. What I discuss in the meantime with the owners is, this is your point that your tree is not so acceptable. So I offered them already another tree from the same variety to make a blending here with crossing trunks, also in the Bunjin style, to cover this up and make this part more interesting. And this is what we do during the workshops. While we are starting and making this progress, there is another thing that starts to be born. So the owner is now thinking about, okay, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to start up my second one. And in 2 years' time, we can blend them together, and then I have a very nice composition, and I hope even in the same small pot. So these are also the things that during the whole process that we talk about, the evolution. It's not from you come to a workshop, I create you a tree, no, you create and you design your tree, and I talk about the future plan. What's possible now? What's the next step to become in that level? And if you reach that level, what is now the best thing to improve this tree, to make it more special? And you come up with another idea. You offer several ideas most of the time, and they can choose. This is the best way how to do it. So there are trees a little bit longer in training, like this clump, this raft style of larix, but also trees that are recently done, like this squamata, this needle juniper. Needs a lot of technique, a lot of refinement also to clean this leaf out. There are no dirty old needles in it. It's all clean lines. but the whole tree is not so long in training here. It was a tree that the owner was trained it a little bit the wrong way before he asked me for help. And then we start to remove a lot of material in between, and we start from there again to build it up in a more interesting style. So for me, all the years before were meaningless, and now the last year actually we made the difference. And the last 2 years now we try to do it without wire. This raft is also in the hands of somebody that now he's 4 years here, and in the 4 years now he tried to do it without wire as well. So this is Juniper Media Blaus variety. Rare to find now often. There was 30 years ago everybody was working with Media Blaus. Now you don't even find one anymore. And so this is from one plant, a raft that we started up with single branches wired upwards, and from there, from scratch actually. So we are now 4 years further, and we have already a good old image. So I'm going to introduce you to one of our club members, and he's an artist. Actually, he's an artist. He's a man of many things. He's a painter, so he do many things. He also do bonsai, and that's the reason why I met him, and he came in our club, and he comes to our regular workshops. And yeah, over the years we start to talk. We did already some exhibitions together. With his artwork and my trees and my kusamono. And this time for the club reunion I asked him to bring a part of his collection of scrolls. Most of his scrolls are from the Meiji period that he has at home. Here it is a mix of a few younger but also older ones. But there are many scrolls, 150 years old, 200 years, it's a normal thing. But for him, a good scroll is all about the quality. The quality. If you see this koi fish, it's like a photograph. It's like three-dimensional. So if you start as an artist, as a painter, because this is just, you have your blank canvas, you have your brush, and you have your ink, and then you put this first line, and it has to be perfect. This elegant movement, this pure, this detailed way of showing this three koi fish is so extremely good. It's so extremely high quality that this is for him mainly what it's all about. Also the antique scrolls, the age. But for him it's also the things that we can use in our displays, but also others. It's like 100 birds here. I don't know if it's the name of the painting, but I don't know if there are with 100, but many. So this is really very detailed. What I like so much, and I didn't put a kusamono underneath, I put a branch of a pine, a branch of a hydra, and a branch of a calicarpa. And that's why I put this in front of this chrysanthemum, this branches, these cut flowers of chrysanthemum. But it is also here, this fragile, detailed flower. This is actually the good quality of a painting. And when it's so old and it still looks so fragile, this is for him where it's all about. And this whole collection, I give nearly every scroll a detail with a kusamono or a little tree or a subject, just to give it a meaning, to give it more depthness. Normally, if we should handle this as an exhibition, I will put half of the material in between, but now it's all about the scrolls and I want to give it a meaning.
Hello, my name is Henk Somers. I'm a student of Danny. I'm an artist also, and because of that I got interested in Japanese culture, because there's a lot different than in Japan than our culture that is interesting. So that's also why I started about 15 years collecting those scrolls, and then he asked me to make a selection and to show them here for to show at the students what what a good scroll has to be and can evoke. I made a selection out of, I think, 200 scrolls, and here I am showing now I think about 18 or 19 scrolls out of my collection. They are not, most of them are from the Meiji period. That means that they are made between 1886 and 1912. In this period you have there's a big variety, but they are easier to evaluate than the scroll, for me at least, than the scrolls that are made later. In a scroll that is made in this period, you can easily find there is no space for error, because when you make a drawing on a paper, you have only one chance to do it correctly. That's why it's also it's very fair made. It's not complicated. You recognize for me, I recognize very easy the art in it, and the knowledge in painting. You recognize the capacities of the artist. There is no second or third chance to make it better. Here in Europe we use canvases with oil painting, and then you can, if something is not right, you can overpaint it and start again. Here you have only one moment to create it, and because it's on paper, it has to be correctly direct.
Hello, my name is Alain. I am coming to Danny for many years to follow his workshops, so I had also a plan to make a rock planting, and one day Danny was organizing a workshop for rock planting, so I subscribed, and then we put this combination together. We started with a very small cotton yaster in such pot, and then we grow it bit by bit, and now we have made it open, and we are getting to the refining of the branches, so we can see the old age of the tree. So it's very interesting to see the development over all the years, bit by bit. When you start, you cannot see how it will develop in time, but it's a very interesting journey. So I enjoy it every day in my garden, and it's getting better and better.
Good afternoon. We are here with Danny, and Danny is our teacher here. We started here, I think 15 years ago. I came along here with the thought of a Japanese garden. So I looked in his garden and saw all the good acer trees he has here. And then, I came inside, and then I saw the bonsai. And that was, the beginning of a great story. So now I'm, I think, 10, 12 years with Danny and the lessons here. And what's the difference with another club or another story of bonsai? We are here building trees. What I mean with that, we start with simple material and then we build it up. And we build it not like a demo. We're not going home with a good tree. We're going home with a tree that is with 3, 5, 7 years old. We always get a little bit better. And that's how my interest here is the best you can find. And that's tree from me. That's a tree that comes from Japan, but now it's 7 years in my hands, and we have make it finer, and we make it natural. And that's the trees, the bonsai trees I most like. That's why I'm feeling me here at home. And with Danny as a teacher, I can't find a better. So that's the story of my bonsai till now, and I hope I can come here for several years.
Danny told me that he don't style trees, or he don't make trees. No. He makes the guys who make the trees. That's the important thing of bonsai. We are learning here to make bonsais, but we must do it on our own thoughts of how we see the tree. That he put a little bit of lines out for us. You should do that, maybe that, but we must do it all self. The wiring, taking the branches, how we do it. You can look in the tree. That's what we learn here, and that's almost the important thing of bonsai. That's what you will not have in other clubs. So we build here, and that's why he is so important for us. It's the natural look. Like we see a tree in nature, that's what I do personally. If I go in a wood or somewhere else, or I take always the time to look at old trees. That's Danny that has told that. You can find everything if you look, and that's the truth. And that's how we come to the old looking bonsai tree, but it's very natural. And that's the case why we do it here.
Hello, I'm Dennis. This is my juniper squamata. I started it 2 years ago. I started in this club with Danny about 4 years ago. He's a very versatile man. He's explaining things like the young starter plants up to the old plants that we teach. This was a starter plant 2 years ago. It's still under development, still needs a lot of work. But I'm very impressed what we can achieve in such a short amount of time with the professional guidance of Danny.
A club meeting is always something where we talk about many subjects. So it is necessary because we have 80 members that are coming, and from the 80 members there are now 60 that checked in that they will come. So we put 60 chairs ready that they can participate here in the event. This is always necessary here. You have to let us know that you come. It's not that you can fly in and fly out whenever you want. We have a program and we want to know with how many people or for how many people we do it. And if we have already a good reaction like always, we do a lot of things. If we have no reaction, we do just a small meeting. That's how it works. So tomorrow there is also a talk about deciduous European varieties. Deciduous European varieties starting from seedlings in a certain age. So we have a subject about European Alps, Aster campestre, Carpinus, Ginkgo, also another Carpinus. But mainly it will be the subject about how develop your branches. And then you have already, because everything that you see is created from a seedling here in our old nursery. So it is all material that we have here available and some material that we already prepared and started up in a pot but never did something with it. And this is the material we show as an example. This is also the material they can follow workshops with. Like this Acer palmatum is, for example, about 22 years in the pot from a seedling started, and we have a good niabari, we have a good taper, we have good old branches, and now we can start about the further development to make it a more natural tree in a smaller pot. Till now we're still in his training spot, so we're telling the whole process what we did, and that's most important, the whole process what we're gonna do to achieve our goal. Sometimes I prepare this so good that we already wired in advance, because it's so boring if you come to a meeting and somebody has to start wiring and you have to wait for the result. So we prepare this now already, that it's easy to explain how we put a branch in position. And also we are now beginning of autumn, end of the summer. So that means that the branches are still flexible. We can do a lot more with the branch now than, for example, in about a month. If we are wiring a month sooner, the wire snaps in too fast because it's still growing season in summer. And now we have removed all the leaves and we start on an early wiring. The wire can do his thing for a longer period, but we have the luck that all the branches are still very flexible to put them in position, especially for maples. So this is also something, how we create a shape, how we create some lines in the trees, how we create some branch lines, how we put a special branch in between. So this is all very important to do. Then we have every meeting a special subject. This time you can see it, it's Pinus sylvestris. The special subject are all sylvestris pines that are from 1 year training till 15 years training, and the examples following all in a row. So I start with the youngest creations and go further on the development of the older ones, but also especially how does we come on these character branches. What do we did in the past and what we're gonna do now in the future. Because also here you can see this was a thick branch that was really straight with a long branch. So this is carved out, is taped in raffia, is bended higher, so the straight line is gone, and we bend it higher up and we give it a special movement. So we try to give also all the types of Sylvestres that you can find in Europe, in the Pyrenees, in Scotland, wherever they grow, we have a type of tree that is common there. That's how they grow in Scotland, is more open and wide. How they grow in the Pyrenees, it's more character. So also this type of styling we try to show. And this is a better education that you can give to people than learning them a typical Japanese classic style. Because the variation is here much bigger if you see it from that point of view. So this is all the things that we tell to the people during a meeting as well. So it will be always a very busy day for me. Because when I say to all the people, and now we take a break, that means I have to take a break. They can walk around here and they can do their thing. So a whole club meeting is a day work, and they all like to come over and they all are happy that they are here. And in the meantime, it's a learning process about so many different subjects.
My name is Ria Kaas, and I made these little statues. They are a comic togetherness of man and an animal. I love the animal world. I've been a guide in the zoo of Antwerp for years, and that's where I learned to love nature, and that's how I got the idea of making a protector for the animals with the animals together, because there's a saying that a dog looks like the man looks like a dog, and I took it a little further to other animal species. I shall give an example how I make these things with the goose. Yeah. So the goose is a little bit a look-alike from the animal, and goose are really good guards. They guard the property better than the dog. So they bark and they make a lot of noise, and that's how they come to be good guards in the past. So I made him a guard. He has everything with him to be a good guard. He has a revolver, he has a walkie-talkie, he has a light, he has special tools here and a matraque. So Rock, he's a bit of a fly catcher. So the frogman has everything to catch flies. He has cow dung here, he has lights, UV lights, he has a sticky thing to catch a fly, and he has odor to lure flies, and this is a bat to catch flies. So, and the goat, he makes cheese. Goats make cheese, good cheese. So the goat has a really cheese factory on his back. So the milk goes in there, then it travels over there, gets warm, then it comes back here, and then it gets shifted, and the cheese stays in there, and here comes the why, or how it's called. I don't know how it's called. Yeah. And so I go to flea markets to buy old coats, leather coats, and then I cut them, and so I can make the clothes for these animals. Okay.
So we can say that you are a very creative family.
Yes,
Yes.
indeed. Yeah.
Yes.